P.O. Box 1663. Address in Los Alamos was a post office box in Santa Fe. There were several different box numbers, but most of the scientists' address were P.O. Box 1663. Because of that, there are some strange things that happened. If you were born during the war, your birth certificate said that you were born in Box 1663. It was the same if you got married in Los Alamos. Then you were married in Box 1663. Lots of people shopped by catalog in Los Alamos because there was only one store during the war. Once, Sears Roebuck became very upset because they had over 100 requests for their catalog, all to be sent to the same post box. They couldn't understand why one person needed all those catalogs. They didn't know that it was a whole town sharing one post box office. Ration coupons became very certain in the war. Because it was wartime, certain things were very hard to get, such as there weren't many new cars because of the metal and rubber because they were being used to help build planes and war machinery. And because the factories had switched from making like cars to making tanks and planes, people were discouraged from buying lots of new clothing because that was needed for uniforms. Canned food could easily be sent to soldiers overseas, so people in Los Alamos were only allowed to buy a certain amount each month. If you could buy a certain amount of something, that item was rationed. Everyone was given a ration coupon for certain items like canned food, sugar, and gasoline. These coupons allowed you to buy a certain amount each month, but not no more. Even if you had money to buy with, you had to have a coupon. Almost was an army town. The army planned it and was in charge of it. Oppenheimer ran the town with General Groves. Oppenheimer was in charge of the science, and General Groves made decisions about money and how the town was ran. General Groves did not live in Los Alamos, but there were colonels under him who lived in Los Alamos and ran things. Some of the army personnel were scientists also, and they worked right along with the civilian scientists. There were also military in Los Alamos who helped run the town, and other army personnel including WACs. Not everyone was allowed to have this family with them. Nearly all of the scientists did bring their families, but only a few military could. The soldiers and single men and women lived in barracks, dormitories, and tiny houses, or maybe if in trailers. Married scientists lived in houses, often duplexes and triplexes. In the beginning, the army tore down most of the ranch school buildings and put up their own. They needed different sorts of buildings than barns and sheds and garages. They needed many houses and lots of laboratory buildings. The first ones built in Los Alamos were fairly well built, though they weren't very attractive. As time went on and more people came to Los Alamos to help in the building of the bomb, everything was done in a tremendous hurry. Buildings were sort of thrown up and were very ugly and flimsy and were not meant to last for very long. There just wasn't time for doing a good job. The most important thing was the job of developing the bomb, and people often worked very late into the night. There was only one school, and all the grades were in the same building. It was located just below where the farmers market is now. You can still see the stairs and foundations where the par course is now in Los Alamos. It was torn down in the 1960s. There are several teachers still living or working in Los Alamos who taught in that school during the war. The Army had a hard time getting teachers to come to Los Alamos because they couldn't really tell them anything about the town. It was just known as Box 1663.